to the 3 Count Out podcast. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Sean Spears' favorite episode, episode 10. Yes, that's right. We finally made it 10 episodes in. I guess this is the first milestone, but we got a lot more to go. Last week was the week of retirements. This week is the week of big business, not just AEW, but also NFL free agency. We had the first day today, and I know that Jackal and I have a lot that we want to talk about when it comes to the NFL, because the Eagles had a great day today. And this week, I am joined by 3 co-hosts that could probably pull off the John Cena fit at the Oscars.
I know for one, I probably couldn't. I'm fairly certain I would scare small children. And people would probably call the police on me immediately. I'm Mike Swanee. Yeah. Day one of trades, and all of a sudden everything's blowing up on my phone. I was like, what is happening? You guys are so excited. And then I saw, because Jackal over there is leading the way.
I proved last week that I cannot talk about Will Ospreay and also fight off the zombie horde. I'm FGK.
Christianity is the killer of muscles.
Hi, I'm Jackal.
Discord cut out in that so much.
Oh, God damn it. That was a good one.
That's arguably better when it cuts out.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Soundboard. Cue. Director. Rolling. Thank you. Okay. We'll start it from the top. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Christianity is in fact the killer of muscles. Hi, I'm Jackal. Two take Tony. 2 take winner. 2 take man. In the flesh, baby.
2 totally different tones.
Hey, listen, I went a little too excited with the first one. I figured I needed to reel it back in a little bit.
Oh, no. Don't you reel anything in. We are fucking foot on the gas right now. We are going. I'm having a great day.
Don't you tell me. We're having a day. It's like it's good, then bad, then it's good again, it's bad again, and then it ends up being good. I'm very, very confused so far, but it is very exciting watching and seeing the league sort of sort itself out as the day goes on. What do we want to start with? Because there's a lot on the docket to talk about today.
We should get Era's excitement out of the way early, because I think he was going to pass out from excitement earlier.
Yeah, I mean, there were some messages in the group chat that I can't really say, because if we ever try to get ads on the podcast, they wouldn't like what I said. But listen, there was about an hour today from about noon to 1 where I was like, what's going on? Right when we dropped DeAndre Swift, and I was like, what's going on? Little did I know he was just to get $23 million, so that way they could guarantee $27 million to my boy Saquon Barkley.
That's a very, 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 very big pickup. You let the former Lion walk, and let's be honest here. Now that he's gone, he's not going to give you another full season again, to be honest, because unfortunately DeAndre Swift is kind of rocking with the good old Sasha Banks treatment, where it's like, oh my God, I'm back and healthy for like a good couple games, and then I'm going to be on the shelf for the next month, and I'm going to play a couple games again, and then I'm going to be on the shelf again. Yeah. And it's just sort of extremely inconsistent play, which is probably the reason why Detroit cut him, which is probably the reason why Philly let him go. And to be honest, Chicago picking him up, I'm not too scared about that, because their O-line is still Swiss cheese, and we saw how well he ran against Detroit's O-line, who is one of the best in the league. So Chicago picking him up, I don't think it's going to be much of a difference maker whatsoever.
No, not really. And you're right. I mean, he was like in and out. Like he was during the fantasy league that we did, he was a problem for me. Like, just having him on the roster, because I had to keep rotating him in I just had to keep trying and looking and seeing. And some weeks he would have really, really like big predictions and get nothing. And it was all over the place. So it sucks to see him go. But at the same time, I mean, talk about an upgrade, right? Like,
absolutely. Oh
yeah, I think it's better for your team overall to not have DeAndre there and to have a playmaker like Saquon, because all of a sudden you have Jalen Hurts and Saquon on the field at the same time. It's a hell of a combo.
Don't get me wrong. I liked the Saquon Trace McSorley combo that we got. They were always a really, really, really great pair. But like, man, if I can't have Trace McSorley, I'll take Jalen Hurts, right? Like, it's not even like that's a downgrade. Like, arguably, I mean, let's be honest, Jalen Hurts is the upgrade for sure. You know, like, I feel so good about just going into next season. Like, the coaching changes were already making me feel good. Now picking up Saquon, and like, everybody knows who Saquon is, right? Like, no one's looking at this going, why did they do this? And I feel like sometimes teams come out of free agency and they're like, what's going on? Like, why are you doing? And like, the coaches usually have to be like, hold on, hear us out. But like, I feel like there's not one Eagles fan online right now that's like, why Saquon? Like, everyone's like, yo, welcome back, bro. Like, he's like, this is a homecoming. This is what we've wanted. This is what we've been dreaming of, is having someone like Saquon. And everybody knows what to expect, right? Like, nobody, he's just going to fit in that offense so well. And you know, he's not the only signing that we got either. We also got Bryce Huff, a defensive end. He got signed for a $51 million contract from the Jets. Fucking insane. Apparently he's really good. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know who he is, but I saw a lot of excitement, so I'm excited too.
Absolutely, you should be. And he's a very, very much a good cornerstone of that Jets defense, and they're probably going to suck to see him go. But man, oh man, Philly is absolutely bending New York over and just stealing all of their fucking resources. Good Lord.
Yeah. If there's one team I hate almost as much as the Cowboys, it's the Giants. Gotta happen. So like, I'm really happy to see just all these people just being taken away from them, and then we just, you know, we get it all. It's the way it should be.
Well, and real quick to interrupt this, do the Giants think that Mac Jones is like the guy? Because they're out there going, yeah, we're thinking of trading him. For what? a bag of peanuts? Is that it? They're like, hey, can we get some Cracker Jacks from your stadium? Because that sounds neat.
Like
and they
the
were like,
Giants and Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Or you mean Daniel Jones?
Yeah, that one. The other failure, that's a Jones.
The other Jones, the other goober quarterback.
They're talking about trading him, and it's like, who's going to trade for him? Somebody that needs a fourth-string quarterback? Maybe, you know what? To be fair, maybe the Steelers, right?
Beautiful little segue, Mike, as the Pittsburgh Steelers have now found their franchise quarterback for a whopping 1-year contract valued at $1.2 million. Ladies and gentlemen, Russell Wilson is now a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah.
Bro, we're talking about fucking Bryce Huff on a $51 million contract and fucking Saquon Barkley on a $46 million contract. What is this motherfucker at again?
1.2. 1.2.
Yes. Strong 1.2.
Hardy 1.2.
Mm-hmm.
Granted,
1.2?
I do believe the entire state of Colorado still owes this man close to $100 million, so I'm fairly certain
make up the difference.
Not too upset about that.
How many years do they have to pay him for?
I think
for
2
real?
more years. 2 more years.
Jesus.
I believe it was a 5-year deal.
For 2 more years. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. I take it back. Damn. He's making bank.
I believe it was a 5-year deal, and this would have been year 3, 4, I believe, or something like that. So it's It's high time that Russell Wilson got the hell out of Dodge when it comes to Denver. But now he's going to be competing with good old tiny hands, baby hands, Kenny Pickett for that starting position. Boy, oh boy, I am not excited to watch that happen.
Come on, the
Average
battle for
size
mediocrity. Who doesn't want to see that?
Everybody else that doesn't live in the city of Pittsburgh, Yinzers are in shambles right now. However, I think people that are celebrating is the people of Atlanta, Georgia, as they also get a new quarterback with Kirk Cousins hightailing it out of Minnesota, getting out of there. So Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Danielle Hunter, get me the hell out of here. I don't want to play with these jabronis anymore. I want to leave. I want to go, and go he went. Devil went down to Georgia, and I think the Devil's name is Kirk Cousins.
Their quarterback was Desmond Ridder, correct?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yeah,
big old upgrade.
Do we know where he went, or is he just kind of farting in the background now?
He is more than likely going to be riding the bench now, because I know they had Marcus Mariota 2 years ago, Desmond Ridder this year, and now it's probably Desmond Ridder on the bench, backing up, you like that Kirk Cousins. One thing I will say, though, is that as soon as the signing happened for the Falcons, I believe their odds to win the NFC South, jumped from third place to first place.
Damn,
so
really?
Apparently, Vegas is thinking that
Holy shit.
Kirky Boy to the Dirty Birds is going to be a shot in the arm for him that they very much need. On the other hand, Minnesota is now looking like the ship is going down because it has come out it was fairly recently. I shouldn't say that. I misspoke. Justin Jefferson said the only reason he will stay in Minnesota is if they pay him and they also pay Kirk Cousins. Justin Jefferson has said he wants his quarterback to be Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is out. Hopefully, as a very biased Lions fan, I hope that means Justin Jefferson follows.
Well, where do you think he would go, though? I mean, that's a big signing for anybody that can get him.
Anybody that can pay him, and unfortunately,
we're looking at you, Lions.
The team that makes the most sense right now is Detroit, if we're being honest. But what I realistically seeing happening, a team with a stupid amount of money, is probably the Cowboys. Unfortunately, the Cowboys have a good fair amount of cap space still available, and pairing someone across from the Cowboys receivers to give Mr. Here we go another person to throw to, unfortunately makes the most sense, as much as I don't want to see that. Another shock of the day, as Josh Jacobs heads up to the Green Bay Packers, taking over the running back position there, kind of shocking a lot of people, as they thought there was going to be a two-man show up in Green Bay. He says goodbye to Vegas and goes up to the freezing cold north, where it's going to not be fun playing against him. He's a damn good running back.
Well, and now that Aaron Jones just got released today, I wonder where he's going next. He didn't do really anything during the preseason or the regular season because he was injured for the most part, right?
This year he was okay. He definitely performed a lot better in the postseason, taking a lot of the weight off of Jordan Love, but he is a 1,000-yard rusher 3 times over with the Packers. So he has performed well for Green Bay, and it's very, very, very odd to see that type of move happen, because, Green Bay's in the same division as the Lions, and they just got done watching the Lions run the North with a 2-man backfield with Gibbs and Montgomery, and I feel like Dillon and Josh Jacobs would be a horrifying running back tandem to go up against. But hey, I'm not Guntkunst, nor do I consider myself to be a armchair GM, so if they think this is the route that makes the most sense for them, then so be it. Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans, basically signifies to everybody that Derrick Henry's time as a Tennessee Titan has come to a close, wrapping up a damn good career in Tennessee, and people are speculating so goddamn much to see where he's going to go. Would really, before the talks of Saquon were coming around, people thought Philly was going to be a perfect landing spot for Derrick Henry, but of course that door's finally closed, and realistically, you might have gotten the better option, but people are thinking landing spots now are going to be over to Dallas, and Baltimore seems to be the top two spots for old King Henry.
I didn't think we were going to be like really looking for a new running back, to be honest, but I thought if we were going to be getting anyone, it would be him. I didn't even think Saquon would be up for grabs. But
Right,
where did you think Derrick Henry would be going?
Right now, I think the heavy hitter to get Derrick Henry is probably Baltimore, as they have lost Gus Edwards to go to Los Angeles. He went from one Harbaugh brother to the other, so their running back slot is wide open, and their running backs can't stay healthy to save their life. Because I could not tell you the last time the Ravens had a season where their starting running back stayed healthy the whole time. So Derrick Henry probably ends up in Baltimore to give Lamar a bit of help.
Yeah, no, I see that. I think any more help you can get Lamar, especially with running backs, that's, he needs it. Like, they can't stay healthy.
A healthy Derrick Henry and a healthy Lamar Jackson is a fucking terrifying combo.
Extremely.
Let's hope they can stay that way.
It makes me very, very glad to not have to play the Ravens again this year, because that tandem scares me pretty badly.
That's understandable. I can see that.
Tight ends, not a lot of moves has happened. Realistically, with the tight ends and wide receivers, they've sort of stayed where they're at. The biggest signing when it comes to wide receivers is Gabe Davis getting the hell out of Dodge and Buffalo, the team that apparently can't win a game to save their life, or a playoff game to save their life, getting out of there and heading on down to Jacksonville, joining Trevor Lawrence. And this is where Mac Jones is, as New England traded him down to New Jaguar Town for basically a firm handshake and a pack of peanuts to back up Trevor Lawrence. And I don't think Mac Jones is probably going to see playing time ever again, unfortunately.
Do you think Tony Khan's going to have a good year next year?
Ooh, when it comes to next, you know what? Why not? Why not? I think he's put in the work. He's put in the time. I think he deserves it. Go on, TK. Go on.
I mean, I meant, do you think the Jaguars are going to do well? But
I misinterpreted that one.
Just as long as there's no big announcements, please. Good God.
He just gets on the fucking Jumbotron. Hello, everyone. I have a massive announcement tonight for the Jaguars. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just sucks all the life out of the stadium.
I think the AFC South right now was very weak, but now is getting very strong again, because the Texans are doing good. The Colts are on the upswing. The Titans are probably going to have a down year for a minute, if we're being honest. So I think the Jaguars do have a good time to strike to probably take the AFC South title and secure a home playoff game for their fans for the first time, getting it in the 2 out of 3 years. I believe that would be a record for Jacksonville, so they got a shot. The offensive line shuffleboarding, moving around, really has only been... this is where the Lions have made their first and second and real only appearances today, as Graham Glasgow has re-signed. Famous Twitch streamer, and hopefully one day known friend of Jackal Joker. Still working on that second part. He has re-signed for 3 years at $20 million. Fucking value of a contract. A huge bargain deal for someone who can play two positions on the offensive line, where he's very flexible as both center and guard. So that is a amazing deal, which is going to be very worth it. Unfortunately, we do lose Jonah Jackson to the LA Rams, whereas he's getting 3 years for $51 million. So almost triple the cost of Graham's contract. So I do believe we won out on that one, as Jonah Jackson cannot stay healthy to save his life. Very, very similar to a lot of the players we've been talking about today.
That's the unfortunate story, right? When you have someone that's just like really, I mean, hey, we'll get there with AEW. I know what you want to say. We'll get there. But like, that's the unfortunate story, right? When you have someone that's like super good, ready to go, and you're like, this is it. This is the person. And then they're just hurt all the time and you can't use them.
An interesting thing that we're going to see over the next couple of years as medicine gets better and hopefully as player health also increases as well. But moving on, not really much going on with the defense. It's sort of much of the same, unfortunately. So not much
real
to
quick
talk about there. Oh,
because I don't know if I missed you saying it or not. I know Jerry Jeudy got picked. He was one of the wide receivers for the Broncos. Where the fuck did he end up?
Hold on. I got a whole little spreadsheet here.
Because he was like one of their main wide receivers there for a bit.
I don't see that, Mike. You're stumping me here. Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, Jeudy.
Wow. Jerry Jeudy traded to Cleveland Browns.
There it is. Okay.
Ooh, I did not
Browns.
see that one. I think that's going to be good to kind of give Deshaun someone to play around with a little bit more, because they've been good, but I do feel like they kind of need someone to give him a little bit of a push to get over that hump, and hopefully not any sort of humping that Deshaun's going to be doing, because that would be bad for TV, for being honest. Now, the AFC North is a bit rocky at the moment because Pittsburgh's shaky. Cincinnati, I would say, is shaky because, T. Higgins' future is sort of a question mark at the moment. We don't really know Joe Burrow's health too much. So I think the AFC North is really a two-horse race at the moment with Cleveland and Baltimore. So really, if Nick Chubb's coming back, I think that's all the help you need, and getting Deshaun an extra person to throw to is probably going to be nice. So I'm gonna be paying close attention to Cleveland next year.
God, they need to get rid of Deshaun Watson. That dude is nothing but a cancer to their team, isn't he? I mean,
you can say that again.
He clearly has just terrible decorum. Like, he's injured and he's just not doing anything. Great. Good luck for your team. They need a quarterback that looks like he's part of the team and looks like he wants to be there, not a guy that looks like he's just cashing a paycheck.
It also sort of rubbed me the wrong way when he did get hurt. He wasn't on the sidelines up in a booth.
That's what I mean. He was sitting in the stands just like in sweats.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, just chilling.
He looked like he was barely hurt. He was just sitting there.
Yeah.
He looks like they probably went, "How you doing today?" And he's like, "I'm injured."
Vacation.
And they were like, and really for the Lions, it's basically us and the Packers, and that's it.
I mean, if you want to count the Bears picking up, DeAndre Swift, because that's really all they've done so far.
Have they gotten rid of? Because they're still pretty much leaning on getting rid of Justin Fields, right?
Yeah, no, nobody wants to do anything with him. Just kind of the market has quieted down on Justin Fields, and unfortunately, the QB window is really closing, as a lot of the spots that were opened are starting to fill up fast. Emmanuel Mosley re-signing for a 1-year $1 million deal. I'm not sure how much I like that for the Lions, because he's a very interesting player, whereas he only played one snap for the Lions last year after coming off of a torn ACL. He came back for one play and then tore his other ACL. So don't really like that one. I feel like that's $1 million that could have went somewhere else, unfortunately.
It sounds like $1 million to just keep him there so he doesn't go somewhere else. Like, just be like,
Pretty much.
Whenever you are good, we want you, but we know you're not going to be good soon. Here's $1 million to stay.
Antoine Winfield re-signed with the Bucks. Xavier McKinney headed from the Packers from the Giants. Darnell Savage signed with the Jags. And Kevin Byard going to the Bears. And that's really about it, as there's still a lot of big names left on the board, like CJ GJ, like Deshaun Elliott, like a Stephon Gilmore, like a Patrick Queen, like Yannick Ngakoue and Calais Campbell. Solomon Thomas still haven't been finalized. Kevin Zeitler, Nick Gates, Mike Gesicki still hasn't re-signed. Noah Fant, Chase Claypool, Paris Campbell, Mike Thomas, DJ Chark, Calvin Ridley, Marquise Oh no, we know that one now. Derrick Henry still hasn't decided. J.K. Dobbins, Dante Foreman, and the QBs, a lot of names still left open on the board. Ryan Tannehill, Jacoby Brissett, Jameis Winston, Tyrod Taylor, Sam Darnold, Drew Lock, Tyler Huntley, Josh Dobbs, and good old racist Mason Rudolph.
You can put quarterback in quotation for about 90% of those guys.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Quarterback.
Air quote.
Maybe worth a quarter?
Yeah, maybe.
Some of them. I'd only pay a quarter personally for Ryan Tannehill. That's about as much as I'd pay. But man,
you might be overpaying, but that's just me.
After one day of free agency, next year is going to look so fucking crazy for the NFL, and I am here for it, brother.
It's nice when it actually mixes up and it's not just like, what happened this free agency? Oh, nothing.
Yeah, everything
like normal.
stayed exactly the same.
Yeah. This year, everybody was just like, F it. We're buying everybody. We got our taxes back.
Yeah, everybody got their tax returns.
Yeah, it sounds like
one person I haven't heard from whatsoever. Kev, what are your thoughts on free agency, bud? We've been doing all the talking here.
30 minutes in.
Yeah, that's Saquon Barkley. Let me tell you. I called it. I knew it was going to happen. And then there was their other signing that I thought it was good. I thought it was a good idea. A lot of money.
Oh yeah,
a lot of money. That is true.
A lot of money, but we got
to be thrown around. A lot of money.
I feel like they're investing. But you know what? One I actually do have thoughts on, just because it's so hilarious. I'm gonna miss saying Broncos country. Let's ride.
1 year, $1 million after a 5-year, $100 million. What a fall from grace! Good God.
Did he ever win any Super Bowls or anything?
He won one Super Bowl with the Seahawks.
So he went from winning a Super Bowl a decade ago to being probably one of the top quarterbacks ever to being you need a job, so here, how about a year?
He's basically the equivalent of a jobber now.
Oh, fall from grace.
Yeah, I mean, when he won with Seattle, he had one of the best teams, one of the best defenses ever made. Their offense was stellar, and he was just chucking that ball down the field, and it didn't matter where he threw it, somebody was there to catch it. And then he got to the Broncos, and the Broncos were like, all right, you have no weapons. Good luck. And go figure, he couldn't do much there.
What a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not the best quarterback of all time because he can't work with any team. I feel like a good quarterback can work with any team. I can be a great quarterback, go to a shitty team, and somehow still help that team instead of I need a team to be a good quarterback.
To an extent.
A great team can work with, or a great quarterback can work with any team. A good quarterback still needs those tools.
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
But also, if the guy you're throwing to can't catch, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I will say the Steelers are fun to watch this year.
Yeah.
They're going to be something.
They're going to be something.
I think we're all going to be watching just in wonder and awe, wow, look at what they're trying to do. Huh.
Like a circus sideshow.
Makes me really wish they didn't fire Matt Canada now, because him stuck with Russell Wilson would make for great TV. Oh my God.
You want to talk about
what are you watching? a disaster. That's what.
So I gotta know if we're talking about good TV and we're talking about new looks on some football teams. Let's talk about new looks for AEW. What do you guys think about AEW? They brought the fucking tunnels back. I like it. I like the new look, the new logo for AEW Dynamite.
Pretty.
It does look kind of purty. It looks kind of purty. It's like multicolor now, which I like. I've always associated in my stupid, probably needs to be medicated brain. I've always associated WWE with like single color shows, but then whenever I see like a multicolor show or like a different kind of like presentation, like that's what AEW always felt like to me. Was like, I always think of AEW as like, remember like the multicolor like powder branding that they did? That's what I think of when I think of AEW. And I almost kind of like, with this new logo, I almost kind of want them to bring it back, you know? Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh fuck, that would fit great. Like I don't know, maybe I've been playing too much 2K, you know, I got too much Creative Suite on the brain or whatever. But I don't know, man. I think that looked dope as fuck. I like the new look.
I like the branding. Keep it fresh, you know, keep it new, keep it moving, you know. We gotta stay relevant somehow.
Yeah, because God knows the roster ain't gonna do it.
No, sadly.
Although, I mean they are building back up slowly, I guess. They're trying. Tony Khan's really, really trying, I guess.
Hey, what the fuck happened to Edge and his fall from grace?
He's a Los Conquistador or something now, right? Putting on some fucking eyeliner and sitting in the crowd.
As he does, Edge just gets hurt. He's old. My body can't handle it like it used to. And so he does a match and everything tears apart. And then they put him back together with glue and spit. And then they try again later.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. What was in the box? Because he had, I don't know if you guys watched Collision, but he had a random box. I don't know, man. I feel like it's going to be something lame in there. Anytime you show me something in pro wrestling where it's covered and I don't get to know what it is right away, it just gives me flashbacks of like, remember like the Eric Rowan thing where he had like a cage and it was just a shitty toy spider in there. Like I'm waiting for Edge to pull it out and it's like a full foam, like shitty Halloween costume baseball bat or something, you know, like it's some stupid prop where they're like, oh, we have to put this in a box to make it look cool. Like, fuck.
It
said Spike on it. I don't know if they have the body of Spike Dudley in there or what.
Nice.
I mean, the
maybe.
box was big enough. I'd say so.
Yeah, it was. It's like, I don't know, like, but I guess they had something in there. I don't know.
It's just, I'm just used to the crap at this point, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it could be the best. Maybe it could end up being the best ever storyline ever made.
That's the kind of optimism we really welcome here, because that's the optimism that you need sometimes when you watch AEW.
Yeah.
The House of Black lit people on fire on Saturday, though. That was cool.
Oh my god.
They did what?
They fucking House of Black has fire now. I guess. Good. Yeah, Malachi Black just has fire powers now, and we're okay with that. They lit a table on fire, and they put Mark Briscoe through it.
Okay.
Well, if I was going to put anybody through a table, it'd be Mark Briscoe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
He's a tough boy.
As soon as they pulled out the can of gasoline, I was like, "Oh, that's Mark Briscoe's spot for sure." That's that's him going, "Does this state allow fire?" And Tony Khan going, "I guess." And he went, "Great, I have an idea."
I think it'll be good. You know, bringing the tunnels back, kind of going back to the root. I feel like they're sort of at some point, and I couldn't tell you when it happened. I feel like they're kind of straying away from what they originally set out to be, but maybe with the little rebranding, maybe with kind of like a nice sort of reset, just a breath of fresh air, just okay, let's do this again, and maybe kind of get things back to form for AEW. And this card coming up for this next show is really a damn good show to set that off in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk
about for the big business.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So for context, we've said this before, but we record on Monday nights, so big business has not happened yet, but I think we can be pretty confident in talking about this on the podcast. We don't know how they're going to show Mercedes Moné in AEW. We don't know how they're going to treat her. We don't know if there's been any drama or anything like that. But how are you guys feeling about Mercedes Moné fitting in the AEW women's division? Because I feel like it's a shot in the arm, because the only women's division match in AEW Big Business this Wednesday is Willow Nightingale versus Rio, which is great, but I feel like you need to be able to do more than that, because this is the only women's match that we've gotten out of AEW that hasn't been Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo in like 6 months.
In a minute.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's not true. We also just get a lot of Julia Hart and Sky Blue versus Willow and Chris Statlander.
Oh, right. Yeah. And then we have to listen to Stokely Hathaway the whole time.
Yeah,
Big
we
Stoke. Do. I mean, sometimes he's funny, but sometimes it's like, dude, just.
For as much as we have, I'll say, voiced our opinions and feelings on it leading up to this, I will say I am cautiously optimistic to see where things continue. You know, I'm not going to put all my eggs into this basket. I'm really not. However, if things end up going in the right direction, I'm also not going to be too upset about it either. It's just I'm mentally preparing myself for the first injury to happen.
I personally don't care. I think it's kind of a little overhyped. I think she's a little overhyped at the moment. And the fact that she's already ready to go back to WWE instead of performing at AEW just says that much more. Like, I think she said like a tweet out the other day going like, oh, I can't wait for all the unfinished business I have in WWE. Can't wait to be back there soon. And then she promptly deleted it because, you know, there's one way to hype up the current company you work for is by hyping up the company you want to go back to so bad. So maybe, I don't know. I
mean, especially with Bryan Danielson being on people's Twitters and finding them or whatever, like, you can't be putting that out there. Yeah, which I get that Naomi's in WWE and they obviously want to have that tag team run together again. I get that, but like, they literally made a show for you, dog. Like, you can't.
How do you expect me to get excited about your matches in AEW when you yourself are not excited for them?
The worst part
that's what makes me wonder if they got her a contract or if it's like
I don't know.
Hey, this is basically your show to get you to come here. Be a part of AEW, please. Because, I mean, they've done that a bunch where all of a sudden, you know, at the end of a show or, you know, a show and a half later, they're like, now this person is all elite. And it's, you know, they've already had like 3 matches there beforehand. So I wonder if that's what it is, where it's like, hey, we'll pay you a shitload of money to show up for big business. We're going to make it all your name. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know where she fits in on this card, because I would assume that she would want to come back and be involved in some kind of match or something, right? I assume Tony Khan would want to put her in a match, right? So like, I don't know where she gets involved in this card, because here's the card. So we have the FTW champion Hook and Lionheart Chris Jericho. I don't know why he's trying to be fucking Lionheart Chris Jericho when he was in the fucking Lucha back in the fucking before times, before he's even in WWE. So we have Hook and Chris Jericho versus Gates of Agony. I don't give a fuck about that match, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah,
no, they pretty much started that this past Wednesday, and they were like, look, now you care about it, right?
That's called Tony Khan had to change a plan somewhere, right? Like, we could, like, Chris and Hook, those are his, Chris Jericho and Hook, those are his boys, you know. So someone's bailing him out there for sure, because I don't know where the chemistry is there. I mean, I know Hook and Chris Jericho have teamed together before. I know Gates of Agony have teamed together before, but like you said, they set it up like last week. Like, this is just a real quick match, especially for AEW. I feel like they at least try to put a couple of weeks behind stuff usually. Granted, it's booked like a crackhead, but he usually at least tries to see it through. The next match we kind of talked about a little bit, but the only women's division match on this entire card, again, I have no idea how Mercedes Moné fits into this. Maybe she just runs in at the end, and we don't know why she fits into this because it's brand new. Who knows? But the women's division match is Willow Nightingale versus Rio. Rio is just, I mean, you know, former AEW women's champion. The list goes on and on. Like, you gotta love that. But it's gonna be a good match, I guess. I don't know where Sasha Banks fits into that, or Mercedes Moné fits into that, if she fits into it at all. But she already wants to come back to WWE, so I'm kind of already like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if they're like, oh no, Willow's hurt. I wonder who's going to replace her, and then it's going to be Sasha, Mercedes.
Yeah,
which
right.
That would
Like,
be
yeah.
stupid, but that's some pretty AEW stuff to do, you know.
Yeah, that's the only way I can see it, man.
And the fact that you don't have either women's champion on your specially named Dynamite show, it's like, why?
Well, because the women's champions aren't big business. They're not big business, Mike. They're not. That's why they're not on the big business show.
I fucking guess.
But now we finally get into some matches.
But that's okay, because Wardlow is.
Yeah, Wardlow is. Now we finally get into some matches that we can actually care about and talk about. So what I assume will be the main event. Honestly, legitimately, some big business going down. AEW World Champion Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. God, what a match. Business. Right, yeah, big meaty business, just meeting in the middle of the ring. God damn, dude, what a match. I don't think Samoa Joe is going to lose. I don't think Wardlow is going to get pinned either. I think it's going to be like just a brawl in the outside, count out, sets it up, because I think they have a pay-per-view in April.
Yeah, it's called like Revelation or something like that.
Revelation? No, they can't. Bro, you can't have Revolution and Revelation and
I'm probably getting the name wrong, but it's something goofy like that. It's some goofy shit.
AEW. A Dynasty. AEW Dynasty.
Dynasty, that's it.
Because that's not any less confusing with Dynasty and Dynamite.
I was about to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this an upcoming pay-per-view?
No, this is Wednesday.
Yeah, I just know that.
Oh, this is just Wednesday. Oh, this is Dynamite.
This is free
Destiny
TV, baby. This is free TV.
Oh, shiznit.
Yeah. This is big business. Free TV.
I had none idea. Okay, I thought this was like just a pay-per-view. This is just, we want to do something special.
Oh, big business? Yeah, no, that's just hey, we have a fancy thing. Come see our fancy thing. And it's just an episode of Dynamite with a different name.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, and AEW has done this in the past. The one that comes to mind is Winter is Coming, where I think it was like some sort of Game of Thrones money or something. But they do this every once in a while, where when they have something big, usually it's like with the big debuts, which is why everyone kind of knows that Mercedes Moné is going to show up. But usually they have like these kind of special shows where they just they make them a little bit bigger. Half the matches are kind of like, but then the other half are like, holy shit, we're getting this on TV for free. And then honestly, the match that I look at and I go, holy fuck, we're getting this for free is Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. I mean, like two big meaty men slapping meat.
Good, or is Darby Allin versus Jay White going to be better?
A Darby Allin versus Jay White, I'm scared for, because this is Darby Allin's last match before climbing Mount Everest, and apparently the dude is just totally at peace with the fact that he's probably gonna die. Which, I mean, I guess good for you, but like, that's a dangerous mentality to have in a wrestling ring.
He thinks he's gonna climb this mountain and die immediately. Like like you're Darby Allin, fella, you're gonna be fine. You're an athlete. You're probably gonna be okay. You're going to get up there and be like, wow, it's cold. And then you're going to come back and be like, that was neat. And then he's going to jump off a 900-foot ladder through another pane of glass into thumbtacks.
Just
because he's Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you almost killed yourself for Sting's retirement match for shits and giggles. Like, I doubt Mount Everest is going to be that bad for you, pal.
It's weird that the man who weighs 110 pounds is climbing Mount Everest. He's probably going to get blown away in the first gust of wind, but... Godspeed, Silly.
You know what? That's true. He might not even make it up the mountain. He might get halfway, and just like a breeze will hit him, and he'll be like, "Oh no!"
Oh, there he goes.
Or what if he makes what if he makes a parachute, catches the wind, flies to the top like Mary Poppins?
Oh, there you go.
Wind makes it easier too. Save you a lot of time.
Better do a coffin drop off the top of it.
Oh, dude, that'd be dope as fuck.
Onto a mountain goat.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, ring the bell. The coat's out.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's a match that I'm excited for. Darby Allin versus Jay White. It kind of makes me wonder why. I mean, I get why Darby's getting this match, but like
the thing is that Tony Khan just dropped it casually during the media scrum after the fucking pay-per-view. He's like, "Oh, by the way,
what else is Jay White
business,
doing?
You have a match." And Darby Allin was like, "Oh, fuck." That was his exact response.
Look at the fall. Look at the fall of Jay White. He's gone from leading Bullet Club to having a random throwaway match on Darby Allin's Go Home show. Like, what? I don't know. I feel like Jay White needs to be. I feel like instead of Wardlow being in the main event, Jay White should be in the main event. You know, like he needs to be booked better. He's just kind of him. There's a couple of people that are just kind of like hanging out on the roster, and they were the people that came in real hot, or maybe got hot over TikTok or something like that, and then like they had all this buzz behind them, and AEW signed them, and now they're there and they're really good, and they're really good. But what's happening, right? Like Jay White, like not that I don't enjoy what he's doing with the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, but like
they booked themselves into a corner because they have like 27 big names that all deserve to be in the spotlight right now, but they're just kind of focusing on, well, okay, our world champion, the one feud he's going to do right now. We'll get to Jay White eventually. He doesn't need to be in the main event because then everybody's in the main event, and I just feel like it's, I don't know. I just feel like
to that point, and I agree with you, like the one thing they used to do was they made that TNT title matter. Like that got switched around like hotcakes there for a while. And then all of a sudden they were just like, no, we're going to put it on Christian for a year and a half. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. I know they're probably going to give it to Edge once he's healthy, but do we need to? Like, does he really need a title when you have so many massive fucking names on your roster that title could go to?
And if this had been for the TNT title, I think that would have been great. And I think we all would have gone, well, obviously this is Jay White winning the TNT title. But that's not an opportunity that they have because fucking all of pro wrestling wants to have these champions that go and reign on for millennia. Like, I don't know. I feel like Edge going to AEW was a great idea, right? Like, nobody was really upset about it. I mean, there were some WWE people that were like, I can't believe he jumped ship. But like, ultimately, everyone was excited to see him there. I think, unfortunately, much like we were talking about earlier with injuries being the unfortunate part, much like we were talking about with Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné or whatever we're going to call her, like whenever, when does her first injury drop? It's unfortunate, but listen, Edge wasn't supposed to be here. I think if he's getting injured right now, we should not be pushing that, right? Like we should all be saying, hey, Edge, thank you, right? It's unfortunate that he doesn't get to be used in AEW, but that's just how it has to be, I think. Same with like Matt Hardy. Like the dude can barely fucking walk. Like if they want to be involved,
Matt Hardy needs to be put out to pasture. We don't need to talk about that again. He just needs to be taken out back.
If they want to be involved, that's cool, but like just make him a manager or something, put him in a role where I kind of don't really have to see him every week, like make their appearances mean something and not just like, here's Edge with a fucking Los Conquistador mask, or here's Jay White with a random, throwaway fucking match. It's like, use these people, right? Like,
yeah, I just think, unfortunately, when you put your stock in people that are, 50 years old, you're not going to get a great return on your investment, and they keep on fucking doing it. And they're going, wow, I can't believe this isn't working out for us. That is so strange.
You know what investment I do hope works out, though?
What?
Okada.
Oh, yeah. If he can stay healthy, I mean...
Yeah,
he's already come in and make an impact, and he hasn't done shit yet.
Yeah, you want to talk about matches that I'm excited for. This I think is going to be the sleeper match. I don't think many people are. I don't think many people are really going to be expecting much from this because it's the Elite involved. But I do think the Elite versus Eddie Kingston, Penta El Zero Miedo, and the returning busted Pac. I feel like that's going to be a hell of a match to watch. And I mean, obviously, like, Pac can go. We know Penta can go. Eddie Kingston's fucking in his fucking stride right now, in his goddamn prime, having the fucking fight of his life with 3 goddamn belts, and he just got his respect from Bryan Danielson. Like, it's going to be a great match. I think a lot of people are going to kind of look at it as like, well, it's the Elite, and like, yeah, they fucking suck, but like, you know, it is what it is, I guess.
That I am so excited for, as someone who really, as we've figured out throughout the duration of this podcast, as someone who doesn't exactly have the drive or passion or energy to stay up late for all of these overseas programming, and never really has the effort to really look it up online anyways. I'm very, 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 very excited to finally be able to see Okada's work a lot more consistently now, especially something that's just going to be on free TV too. So I am all for this type of crossover work, and it kind of unfortunately ties in with the thing that you guys were just talking about a little bit ago, as there is a lot of spots on this roster right now, and only, you know, a couple of them can be the top guys. And unfortunately, Okada is one of those guys that, you know, kind of deserves to be at the top. And that means someone else is going to have to either, you know, step aside, retire, do something, because I would very much like to see him on the top of the AEW side of things.
Yeah, and I mean, look who's in AEW right now, right? Like, you got Okada, you got Ospreay, you got fucking Danielson, you got Mox. Like, you got all these dudes that are just at the top of the game right now, and it's like, yo, you got to step up to these spots. You know, it's like,
and every time we talk about Will Ospreay,
you know who else loses their train of thought? The Rock, when he's talking about anyone else that's not smoking crack, baby. Because we had more SmackDown take place, switching gears away from AEW now, because I feel like we've been talking about nothing about AEW for the past, like, 3 weeks. Good Lord. Still a whole other company there on the road to WrestleMania.
Well, because WWE, they're on the road to WrestleMania, but we all know where they're going. The only thing is, tonight they have a fucking Intercontinental title that... Who was slamming pot? They
Who was building IKEA furniture?
But yeah, no, like...
Thought Mike was going building.
No,
it's Bob the Builder, not
I
Mike.
keep my room nice and quiet.
Obviously nice and clean. Mike, do you keep your room nice and clean?
My room? No.
No, okay. This is vital information
Quiet,
people
though.
need to know. Okay, well, you know what? I prefer quiet over clean, honestly.
Yeah.
Because that way
Clean,
you come home,
quiet?
who needs a clean room when you could have peace and quiet?
You know who I do want to talk about, though, in the WWE?
Not Mike's room?
Actually, because now that you mention it, no, we should probably talk about Andrade's re-debut on Raw against Apollo Crews, who may be AEW bound? I don't know.
I mean, me, Mike,
odd.
and Danny all found out at the same time that Apollo Crews still has a job somehow.
That's fair. Yeah.
And honestly, the return of did he keep his AEW name?
Andrade? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's
El
Andrade
Idolo?
El Idolo. Although they did switch up the presentation a little bit. It's not so much black mask. The mask looks cool, though. I dig it. I dig the look. It's basically the same, though. It's kind of like their own little thing on it.
I'm gonna recreate the audience when he re-debuted. Okay, ready? And action. Thank you. This was Andrade El Idolo's entrance.
You missed that one guy. Yay!
Yeah, sorry, that one guy in the back.
That was me. That was me just going, woo!
There you go. That's the excitement of everyone. Honestly, I don't think anyone really gives a shit. I think he thinks he's like, but do you know who I am? I'm Andrade El Idolo. I banged Ric Flair's daughter. Like,
that was a weird pause there. Hell of a pause.
I'm just saying. I don't think anyone. No, I hear so much stuff about The Rock. I hear so much stuff about Cody now. Like, I hear more stuff about people that you wouldn't think, and yet no one's talking about Andrade. And it's kind of because, except for a few good matches in NXT, that's about it. That's about it. Character. I'm a good wrestler. Cool. So is 80% of the roster. Like, what else? I have a relationship with Ric Flair, his daughter. Like, it's just,
Why is his daughter?
It's his daughter.
Why you putting the pause in there? Why are you putting the pause in there though? Why are you trying to make it sound like Andrade's fucking Ric Flair?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, he definitely.
No, sir, not me. No, never.
He's just really close, and he sleeps with Ric Flair.
They just spoon. Yeah,
yeah. And that's kind of it. And besides that, I can't think of anyone that goes
little spoon.
Ric Flair definitely is the Bill Cosby spoon.
Oh no.
But I don't know. Like, no one cares. And this is just my opinion. But also, it's just kind of what I see from people. No one ever goes, "Oh my God, Andrade's back! Oh, that's awesome!" It's more like, "Oh, Andrade's back. Okay, that's cool. That's cool."
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of the signing that everybody saw coming, right? Like, because I mean, he's married to Charlotte, right? Like, they were gonna end up in the same company, and there's no way in hell Charlotte was ever going over to AEW, right? Like, so
no, she's gonna forever be in WWE,
God, no.
even though. Yeah. If anybody could benefit from going to like Japan for a bit or something like that, I think it'd be Charlotte. I think
she needs some time
Charlotte
outside.
Seeing Charlotte expand from anything that's WWE material. Could you imagine a Charlotte that has like world experience instead? That'd be fucking insane. It's never gonna happen, but it'd be cool.
Or maybe even Charlotte. I don't really know where she'd fit in on this, but I feel like NXT kind of has a little bit of that world feel right now. Like, they have a lot of different styles coming in. I feel like maybe even Charlotte going down there and maybe spending a little bit of time as a coach. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have fucking Cora Jade beat Charlotte Flair, right? But, like, spending a little bit of time as a coach, a little bit of time in the... Well, I mean, I guess you're right. I guess they could.
Why would you bring your new, biggest, most expensive signing to be your queen of WWE? Why not have her beat her definitively?
No,
like
Kevin, Cora Jade, not Jade Cargill. Cora Jade.
God damn it!
You got him confused again.
I'm glad you caught that too. I was like, is he thinking of Jade?
I was like, damn, that's a lot of
fuck. Are these who is who?
Jade Cargill, buff black woman who is pretty impressive in the ring. Cora Jade has the ACL of Gumby.
Okay, I'm just gonna call her Kevin Nash. Okay, and I'm gonna call the other one who's the TNA chick that everybody loves now, that I love.
Jordan Grace.
I'm gonna call her Jordan Grace. Okay, Jordan Grace should beat Charlotte Flair. Kevin Nash should not, because that makes no sense, because I don't know who the fuck she is, so why should she? Kevin Nash, stay far away.
Confusing now. Oh no!
Just roll with it. Kevin Nash, bad ACLs, whatever Mike said. There we go. Pull the quads out.
Yeah, Kevin Nash can't beat Charlotte Flair. Everybody knows that's a fact.
All right, that should be a definitive fact.
I honestly don't think Kevin Nash could be Charlotte Flair, for being honest.
Honestly, like the real Kevin Nash, I don't think so either.
The clip that keeps on popping up on TikTok, and I feel so bad for Kevin Nash for it, is the one where he's just trying to run the ropes, and literally he hits the turnbuckle, and his knee basically explodes. And it's like, oh, buddy, you are just made of spare parts. He just goes and bounces off the ropes, and his knee just goes, and it's like, oh, no. What happened?
What was it? I would love FanDuel to be around then, because you could have placed betting odds. Is Kevin Nash's knee going to blow out this match? Like, it could have been it would have been a fun bet. Bet $30 on his knees, and there they go. They go blown again.
That's the kind of bet I'd take. I don't take many bets. I'd take that one. I feel like that's an affirmative yes anytime he's in the fucking ring. Just like Dakota Kai, man. It's only a matter of time before she rips her ACLs again.
Oh yeah, her and Tegan Knox. Although Tegan Knox has gotten more TV time before this injury than I ever thought possible. So
yeah, Tegan Nox has been working with Natalia, and Natalia, like, I mean, you know, piss break matches, but she still gets matches, right? So like, Tegan Nox has been out there, and I'm surprised that she's still. I don't know, maybe she, you know, finally found. I know sometimes like people just need to find the routine to like strengthen it or whatever, but like, good for her, man. I'm glad, because the fucking knee problems, it seems to be getting people younger and younger, especially in wrestling. It feels like people are having all kinds of injuries, and you're like, bro, you're like 20, chill.
Well, that's what happens when you decide to, you know, do shit your body isn't supposed to do. They're like, I'm going to do 47 flips off this turnbuckle. And they're like, oh, wow, look at your knee just bend ways it's never supposed to.
Yeah, but it looks cool.
It does look cool. And then you blow your knees apart and they're never the same after that.
I'm excited, though, because Charlie Dempsey, fucking Will Regal's son, he popped up. He's the new UK Heritage Cup champion, which I know, Jackal and Kev, you guys don't really watch NXT, but the UK Heritage Cup is like, I guess they're wrestling under like British round wrestling rules, whatever the fuck that means. They just wrestle a couple rounds and stuff. It's all right. It's weird to watch, but to me, this is like, I feel like this is kind of the start of Charlie Dempsey's career, and the kid looks exactly like Regal. Like, if you look at a picture of Charlie Dempsey, you're like, oh yeah, that's Will Regal's son. And let me tell you, he wrestles like Will Regal too. So it's gonna be honestly probably better than Will Regal. So it's gonna be a damn good time having him on the roster, and it's about damn time that he starts getting some rewards and some, you know, some participation medals, and you gotta make the resume look bigger before you can step up, you know. So it's about time we start giving him those accolades.
I feel like,
well, and besides for like Ilya and Braun, they need somebody else that is physical, and he really fills that role. Like, he can fill that role, I feel like, because once Ilya's gone from NXT is not going to have somebody that makes things look hard hitting.
Yeah,
I think Charlie Dempsey is kind of like the guy that would step into that role. I would think, anyways.
Yeah, he's really the only other person I could see, unless somebody maybe has like a drastic heel turn or something, you know. But really, the only other person that I could see just like organically stepping into that, of just being like the dude that you know is going to hit people hard, like, yeah, Dempsey for sure.
Oh, what is that? Oh, breaking news in the world of wrestling. It's just coming in now. Mike, you're gonna love this. Lana and Rusev have just officially called it quits after 7 years of marriage.
You mean I have a chance with her and her diseased finger? Yes,
you do. Godspeed, sailor.
Is that breaking live during the podcast?
Huh?
Is that breaking live?
If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, look it up. It is gross.
Ooh, maybe that's why they broke up
diseased finger. No,
she is so fine, and she had such a wonky finger. She got like an infection overseas or something, and it looked like they were going to have to chop her thingy off.
What the fuck?
Yeesh.
So is she with Bobby Lashley now, or how does that work?
I don't know. She was in AEW for a cup of coffee, and then they were like, "Oh, never mind." They got rid of her quick.
She was Andrade's manager. He left.
Yeah, like she's married to Miro, and they're like, "No, go be with Andrade," and it's like, "Oh, yeah, that definitely makes sense, guys. Good job, I guess."
I don't know.
I will say this. Not that I really care about them breaking up, but she's more entertaining than Dana Brooke. Not that that's much of a thing to come over, but
that's a low bar.
Oh, are we going to do our quick 2 minutes of TNA?
I forgot most of it, so we'll make this even shorter. We'll do a minute. All right. So I will say TNA this last Wednesday was, it was fine. It
Thursday.
Was even. This Thursday, that's how you know. It's who were the matches? Hold on. There was one. It was the first one for maybe the X Division title between Ali and someone else. I think he was white. I could be wrong. Regardless, the match was fine. It was fine. Everything it was fine. And then there was filler in between, and then there was we'll call it main event because it wasn't really a match. It was just pretty much Eric Young getting speared 7 times by Moose. In which case, I think Moose has a very, very good finisher, very good spear. In the wrestling world of spears, maybe like 3rd or 4th best, but it's definitely not the best. And when you put the chain, I was like, oh, that's cool. In a dumb way, like a dumb wrestling way.
You're like, wow, that would hurt you as much as it hurts the other guy, but neat.
Exactly. Like, is that not gonna hurt the show? No? Okay. And then it led up to it was the go home show for a sacrifice, but there was no Scott Steiner, so I didn't really care.
No Steiner math.
Hold on, I didn't say this because I found this out and I wanted to save it for the podcast. Do you know how much it would cost if you wanted to watch a pay-per-view every month from TNA?
$10.
No. Instead of paying $1, you have to pay $4.99.
So what the fuck is $10 a month on their website? What does that give you? I thought the $10 was that.
$9.99 gets you access to the WWE network.
Yeah, and TNA has one too. Is it their backlog? But I can watch their backlog on YouTube. I'm so confused on what this $10 a month is.
I don't know, but because I was looking it up on YouTube and it's like, for $4.99, you can watch a pay-per-view a month. And I was like, huh?
Right, I mean, $1 a month is I was willing to sacrifice, my Benjamin for that. My Washington for that. I don't know if I'm willing to separate a Lincoln a month. I'm not sure if TNA is worth the Lincoln. We'll see. You know what? If somebody comes out of this, if this Washington gets me some sort of compensation, then maybe I'll think about a Lincoln. But until then, I'm just going to find out what happens on this Thursday, where you can watch live at www.
I actually looked up. I actually looked everything up because I was actually curious. Everybody retained their titles except for the tag team champions. So now Kurt Hawkins, aka Brian, oh boy, somebody irrelevant. Him and Eddie Edwards are champions. So now you went from very athletic champions to kind of fat, violent champions. So I guess that's a switch. Other than that, everybody else retained in a meh pay-per-view, I guess.
Okay.
I'm sure some of the matches were good. Like, I'm sure Moose versus Eric Young was probably great. I'm sure Ali put on a heck of a show against whoever.
Exactly.
The women's match that they decided to not have any lead up for, I'm sure that was fine. But yeah, I mean, TNA, man.
There's no better way to describe TNA than the TNA.
Yeah, just a disappointed
I'm glad
sigh.
we're only spending $1 because woof.
Right? Like
I look forward to the TNA recap. I look forward to it.
To separate with, but we'll see where these next few months go. If I'm willing to hey, Mike, do you happen to know what their quote unquote WrestleMania is called?
Bound for Glory.
Okay, maybe we'll see.
Yeah, actually,
is that coming up?
Back in the day when it was good, I got to go to Bound for Glory in one of the cities around here.
Oh, was that pre or post?
It wasn't in like a big ass theater, but it was in a smaller arena.
I mean, it is TNA. I mean, I kind of figured, but it's still something.
They're always in
when
that
is
I mean, it was when they had like the roster. So
when is it? Do you know? Or is it ever changing? Or especially this year?
It's usually in October.
Oh Jesus! Okay,
so plenty of time. Plenty of time to sell me on the fact that I need to spend $5 on this shit.
That could be their selling point. I'm gonna leave it up to that. If they can convince me,
better than the $50 AEW pay-per-views.
That is actually $5. I will say
you ain't
$5 is gonna go a lot farther towards it.
Yeah.
Let's also say this: it's better than the $50 pay-per-view on the worst streaming platform of Bleacher Report.
Yay! It never works, dude. At least pick a platform that fucking loads, dog. Like every time when it switches over from the pre-show to the full pay-per-view, I miss the first like 5 or 10 minutes of the pay-per-view because I have to just sit there fucking reloading the page. Then I have to go and I have to clear the fucking cache. Then I have to reload it again. And then that doesn't work, so I have to go back even further because it caches the files from last time. And it's a pain in the ass every single time. that I want to watch a pay-per-view, which is why I just watch it pirated on TikTok. I mean, a totally legitimate stream on TikTok. I totally don't rip it off.
Yeah, me either. I definitely pay for it and watch
we would
it
never
that way
we would
too.
never advocate for any kind of piracy. That would be
This
illegal.
is a wrestling show. We pay for our wrestling,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for us today. So thank y'all so much for being here.
Speaking of wrestling,
Episode
Raw's
10.
about to start.
Yeah, Raw is about to start. That's why I'm kind of like, let's wrap it up a little bit. But I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe and follow and share and do all of that stuff. This is episode 10. We got many, 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 many more to go. If you listen this long, it means you can rate the podcast. So go ahead and drop the rating. If you leave us 5 stars, I love you very much. Switch.tv/EraV1. I also release music over at youtube.com /@EraV1 music. And Jackal, you got something coming up, right?
Oh, baby, this Sunday night, 1-on-1, the rematch of the century, Jackal Joker versus Fire Guy Kev, and the rematch the world wants to see at Jackal Mania 3, only on twitch.tv/Jackal Joker. That is twitch.tv/Jackal Joker. Don't follow me on Twitch. Follow my girlfriend on Twitch. Twitch.tv/IS_gamergirl. She's much better
funnier
than I am.
Yeah, she's funnier, better looking, smells better.
Oh, that's not saying much for Danny.
Hey!
I have been Fire Guy Kev. I don't talk football, but I can talk wrestling. You can follow me at www.youtube.com/FireGuyKev, where I will also be making an appearance at the Jackalmania in the main event of all the main events.
I'm Swanee. Watch them, listen to them. They're all good at what they do. You know that by now. Just go watch their shit.
I like it. Simple, straight to the point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're always
You know what
direct.
else, though?
Yeah.
You know what I noticed?
Hmm?
Jackal's been distracted this whole time. I'm going to give him the roll up. Somebody count it.
The surprise roll up. 3, 1, 2, 3. That's it. Ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. There we go.
Damn it!
It's always the surprise roll up, man. Vince McMahon was right. Oh, I shouldn't say his name.
Oh, they're going to get you now.
It's the most deadliest move in all of sports entertainment.
I thought you said it was the most
Oh,
deadliest
yeah.
name.
Oh, that too.
I mean,
You say Vince, he gets you.